As well as gentlemen, Papa Boris here with some more Hearthstone arena action. I just recently played Shaman, don't really want to play Paladin, so we're going to go ahead and grab Priest. I think Priest is actually quite good against mages, because the ability to heal your creatures negates the mage's ability to pick off your creatures at will. Okay, well, we have a tough call here. The Arcane Golem is a playable card, but I don't think it stands up to either of these two. The Knife Juggler, really a great 2-drop. Do I dare say it's one of the best 2-drops in the game? Probably. I think I still prefer the Amani Berserker over it in general. But anyway, this is a great 2-drop. This is removal. It's expensive, but 5 damage is kind of a magical amount of damage. There's a lot of otherwise hard to kill creatures that this will get. I'm going to take it. Priests, you know, with their Shadow Words, you really have a hard time killing, like, you know, Chillwind Yetis and whatnot. So having another out against those big creatures is pretty important, I think. Okay, we can go for endgame or early game. I think I'm going to go for early game here, all else being equal this early in the draft, simply because priests don't do very well against aggro, so it's nice to have a little bit of insurance in the form of the Northshire Cleric. Do we take a second one? Yeah, sure. Could be a bit scary if I get too many of those. Mind Blast, no thanks. I'm actually going to grab the Grizzly here. I mean, the Novice Engineer, definitely good, but I like to have Taunt. It's nice against aggro. Just nice in general. It's saved me many a time just to have a good old taunt creature. The Mind Control. Well, I don't like either of these all that much, so sure, we'll take a Mind Control here. Now, here we have Shadow Madness. This is potentially a 2-for-1 card, but it is a little bit unreliable, and consideration must be given to both these other cards here. I mean, the Cobra can take care of stuff on the ground, or in the absolute worst case, it forces your opponent to kill it before he can play off his good creatures. And the Blade Master is a 4-3, which the Priest can heal up and make into a Chillwind Yeti someday. Is really good too. Tricky call for sure. Well, I'm going to take the Cobra. Shadow Madness is good, but I've also had it be a dead card in my hand. I'm sure there'll be times when I regret this Cobra isn't a Shadow Madness, but the Cobra, you can just drop it on turn 3, it's totally fine, and you don't have to worry about any sort of contingencies. The Shield Bearer. I don't think I can take it over the Gurubashi or the Divine Spirit. Divine Spirit I still don't really like. I don't like going for the combo thing with, you know, Inner Fire. It can be good just on its own, just to buff a creature's health, but I'd really rather hold out for Power Word Shield. I mean, sure, Divine Spirit will give, like, you know, if you put it on a Grizzly, 3 health rather than 2, but the card draw is important, so I'll take the Gurubashi there. Okay, well, I think the best card here is the Violet Teacher, so I'll just take the Violet Teacher. Do I take a third Northshire Cleric? I think that might be too many Northshire Clerics. Well, the Nightblade's not a playable card, so we're going to have to grab the Panda here. Do I have any combos with the Panda? At the moment, no. Nothing really interacts with it, but it's still a 5-4 for 4, and perhaps we'll pick up some synergies later on. Okay, so the DM Master is definitely a very good 3-drop. The Twilight Drake is definitely a very good 4-drop. Well, we've got 2 4-drops and 2 3-drops already. So, in the absence of any curve considerations here, we'll go for the harder hitting card in the Twilight Drake. Okay, these are both mediocre 3-drops, so I'll just take the early removal in the form of the Holy Smite. I have to choose carefully here between the Lightspawn or the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. They're both really good. Well, I got 3 4-drops and 2 3-drops, so let's just keep the curve even, and we'll take the Flesh-Eating Ghoul, although the Lightspawn is definitely awesome. We're getting another 3-drop here. Well, I could do some more taunts. I think I'll take a Shattered Sun Cleric, though. This thing is just kind of amazing. And here, well, it's a tricky situation, because the Pyromancer's a 2-drop, and notice I have none of those, but the Soul Priest is incredibly good. It's got a good body. It's the same as the Violet Teachers, and the ability is very nice too. We'll take the Soul Priest and hope to get some 2-drops later on. Okay, we do need some 2-drops here. Hate this frickin' owl, so we'll take the Loot Hoarder. Well, we need some more endgame. The Harvest Golem, if it were a 2-drop, I would consider taking it over the Ogre for mana curve reasons, but at the moment we don't have really any endgame at all, actually. We have the Gurubashi, which is sort of passable. Takes a while for that thing to get rolling. Holy Fire's removal Mind Control it's a creature, but, you know, it's a crapshoot what you get. So we'll take the Ogre just to make sure we've got some big drops. Another Shattered Sun Cleric or a Temple Enforcer? Well, we're getting into the second half of the draft. We might not see any more quality endgame content. So, God, the Shattered Sun Cleric is so good, but I think we'll just make sure we got those 6-drops here. Why couldn't the Shattered Sun Cleric have been here? Well, there's no 2-drops here. This thing's awful. I guess we'll take the Snapjaw and just call it a day. Alright, the Argent Squire is a good card I would take if I didn't have 2 Northshire Clerics. As it is, we'll take this opportunity to grab a Lightspawn. It goes nicely with our Temple Enforcers. Here I'll make one of my fans very happy by grabbing a Sunwalker over the trash. We'll take another Loot Hoarder. Well, hang on a minute, hang on. I think I need some actual 2-drops that don't just die to mages, rogues, and druids. So we'll take the Bloodsail Raider as a generic 2-drop here. This is tempting for card draw. At the moment, my only source of card draw is Northshire Cleric, but it'll have to do, because I do need to have things to play on turn 2. I think it's really, really important as a priest to have two mana cards. Okay, we'll take a Shadow Word Pain. I would actually take this for just the stats. 4/6 for 5 mana is totally fine. However, I do need Shadow Word Pains. I have seen none of those yet. I think we need these 5 drops as well, so we'll take the Silver Hand Knight. And, well, the Kobold Geomancer would be nice if I had Holy Nova, as it is all that this does is it improves my Holy Fire and my Holy Smite. So we'll take the Novice Engineer for some card drawing potential. And I guess I will take a 3rd Northshire Cleric over this non-playable trash. Okay. Well, I could go for super late game with this Frost Elemental. My curve's a bit top-heavy. There's not enough low end. The Silence is interesting, but I'll just take some removal, I think. I ended up being a bit removal light. Well, let's grab another light spawn, I think. More synergy with our Temple Enforcers should be good. We finally get a 2-drop here with the Fairy Dragon. That's great. And this is a bit speculative with such a gap at 2 and 3. I mean, what do I have, really? Let's see, 3, 1... I guess 5 at 2. I guess it's kind of a decent amount, although the Bluegill Warrior doesn't really count. So 4 at 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 at 3, if there's something for the Shattered Sun Cleric to buff. I guess there's a number of targets for the Dark Iron Dwarf to hit, but my instinct's telling me to go for the big. So we'll just go for the bigger go home. And we get a Legendary. Well, these are... Okay, I was going to say these are all reasonable, not Millhouse. Millhouse's Mana Storm is a fucking terrible card. These are both fine. So Alexstrasza, you're paying 2 extra mana for 2 extra stats, which is not exactly a bargain, but I mean, the Battlecry can be really good. I think I'll go for the Prophet here. I mean, at the moment, the double damage isn't really that relevant. It's just Holy Smite and Holy Fire. I didn't see any Holy Novas. So I got all the Holies except for the really important one. But I think doubling your healing is good. And a 7/7 for 7. I mean, it's like a War Golem, right? It's like a War Golem, 7/7 for 7. With a little bit of a perk, and I think that's fine. I'd rather just get it down earlier than this 8/8 that costs a lot more mana and might not be playable, you know, if my opponent's overrunning the board. Okay, well, Legendaries definitely help any deck to be good. I think this deck, with only 1 Shadow Word Pain, no Shadow Word Death, and no Holy Nova, is just sort of consigned to mediocrity as far as Priest decks go. We also saw some pretty lame hit card packs, like the Oasis Snapjaw, really is a bit unimpressive, and the curve could be a little better, but it's fine. It could go to 6 wins. I think, honestly, just all it depends on is whether or not I see mages. That's all it is. I'm just hoping I never see another mage ever again. It's not going to happen, but it's my hope. This is a bit expensive. This guy I'm going to keep around just in case of removal, and these two, I mean, my odds of getting a 3-drop aren't that high, so I'm not going to give up on it. Had this not been a playable 2-drop, an eminently playable 2-drop, you could even say, I probably would have, you know, been planning on coining one of these guys out on turn 3 and the other on turn 4.
Is someone injured?
As it is, I need to give serious consideration to coining this Fairy Dragon out. I think I need to do this. I need to try to maximize my odds of killing this Northshire Cleric. The problem is simply that if I didn't do that then when I would play it on turn 2, my opponent, being the first player, would have turn 3 coming up after it. He could put a Shattered Sun Cleric on this Shattered Sun Cleric to buff this up to be a 2/4, kill my Fairy Dragon, and I'm kind of SOL. So I think it's really important to get this out while I can. Okay, so my opponent catches up a little bit. Basically, with this situation, and him not having Power Word Shield, I get to kill this creature for free. However, then he gets to kill my Loot Hoarder, or excuse me, he gets to kill my Fairy Dragon with his Loot Hoarder, and get a card off Loot Hoarder, so he catches up on cards. Now what I'm going to do instead of losing the Fairy Dragon is actually just cash in my Bluegill Warrior. I think that's better than healing myself. And it keeps a better creature on the board. I mean, this is a 3/1 as opposed to a 2/1, so I might as well use it, you know, or lose it. So this, because it's untargetable, should be able to trade up to something, hopefully. It has to have this 3 power, which is better than the Bluegill Warrior. My opponent pointed something at it, so that was either a Holy Smite or a Shadow Word Pain. But notice how his Northshire Cleric was really good. Even though I killed it, it forced me to use the coin, which stopped me from playing a light spawn on turn 3, so instead I had to play a much more inferior creature, and a single turn in this game makes all the difference. This could have been a light spawn, next one could have been another light spawn, then it could have been a Venture Co. Instead, none of that's going to be happening. Okay, looks like I'm going to get to do... Oh, nope. Okay. So this Loot Hoarder is card advantage. You spent a removal spell on it, and then it drew a card when it died, so that seems fine to me. I could play the Bear. I could also play this Panda, actually, which is an interesting idea. It technically holds up against the Wolf Rider. I'm gonna go for the light spawn though. So yeah, my opponent can of course, you know, run in and get it down to 2 health, but the Wolf Rider will die. He really can't buff this thing enough to let it survive against the light spawn, so I'm just going for the value play here. Alright, so does he have taunt to protect this guy? Mind Vision. Well, he's getting a good card. There's no bad cards here. That's a bit unfortunate. But it's nothing that he can play right now. It's just a matter of, well, I don't know what the best thing is that he could have gotten here. For him, probably just his own light spawn, I guess, or a Ventrico.
Someone call for the
He's gonna throw a Voodoo Doctor. This is a smart move because it buffs the Questing Adventure, which makes it so that when I heal this up and attack it, my guy doesn't live to tell about it. I think I'm still gonna do it though. I think it's important to, you know, take that Questing Adventure off of the map before it gets out of control. And let's just play this bear. That seems easy enough. So it technically holds up against the Voodoo Doctor. Well, in this opening, I'd say that I came out quite a ways ahead in making several value plays. I'm, you know, looking at 6 cards versus his 4, and it looks like he Mind Visioned my bear, which is actually fine by me. That is probably not as big of a game changer as, you know, taking something else would have been. Okay, well, I could hold out and try to do the Light Spawn, Temple Enforcer combo thing, but why don't we just keep it simple here? Keep it simple, keep it safe. We'll buff our health and then kill that bear. So again, my bear is back to being a 3-3. I gain yet another card against him, and I put a 6-6 on the board. Well, this is one of those games where I just had better cards. And not to say that he drafted badly. He might have had just a less good draft than I did, or maybe even a less good draw, but I definitely just had better cards so far. Now, a Mind Control would turn it around for him. I don't, at the moment, have any kind of an answer to him Mind Controlling this, other than if I can get my Boulder Fist Ogre down. Well, let's think about this very, very carefully. So here's the thing. Twilight Drake, you might think, well, Boris, just play that. I mean, it's going to get worse if you wait for it. But the problem is, if he does Mind Control this next turn, and I'm looking at my Twilight Drake on the board, I'll feel a little bit dumb. What'll this be? This will be 4 plus 5 is 6. So yeah, this thing will kill the Twilight Drake, and then I'll have to also throw away my bear. So what I'm going to do instead, I think, is play, well, if I play Boulder Fist Ogre, then if he steals the Temple Enforcer, I can kill it with my Ogre, but of course, then he'll just steal the Ogre. So I'll be in pretty much the same situation where I have to 2-for-1 just to come out ahead. That's actually kind of a pickle, isn't it? Well, I guess the card I should really play is the Ventrico Mercenary then, because whichever one of them he Mind Controls, the other one can then kill it. Ha! Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to play Novice Engineer to draw a card. Always draw cards first. That's tempting. Northshire Cleric, heal this, draw a card. But I think it's just more important to get this guy down. So let's get this guy damaged even more. Swing, 6, that's turn. So if he Mind Controls here, it'll be his whole turn, and he will end up taking away both of my big creatures. Although I could potentially erase him. I could just ignore, like, I could steal the Temple Enforcer. I ignore it, it's forced to run into my bear, and just swing for 7 damage, and that's a lot of damage. So that's definitely a Mind Control, no question about it. If it were a Shadow Word Death, he would have just killed the harder hitting creature. The fact that he was choosing what to kill meant that it was Mind Control. So now he's got this thing. It's an interesting move, because now basically my stuff's more expensive, unless of course I trade this thing off. If I attack him, I'll hit him for 11 down to 13. That seems like, I don't know, it seems like a pretty good move. He's forced to run into this bear. Yeah, we'll just keep the pressure going here, I think. We'll just play a Twilight Drake. It's 4-6, it's pretty large. We'll just ignore his Temple Enforcer as the position switching bug starts to kick in. So we're not threatening the kill yet after he kills this bear. This is only 12 damage. Alright, fair enough. So he's getting a little bit of extra value out of this Temple Enforcer. It's going to also get to kill my Twilight Drake. It's going to get to kill my Twilight Drake and my Ventricle Mercenary. Yikes. Well, I got a lot of value there. Holy fire. Okay. We'll do this, I think. Yeah, we'll just do that. And we're going to just swing for 7, I think. And heal this guy back up. Now, if he has a second Mind Control, I guess then I could be in trouble. So maybe I should have just taken the moment to kill this thing, but I feel like it's worth it to try to race him down. Okay, no Mind Control yet. Yeah, perhaps that was a bit reckless of me, letting him keep his creature around. Maybe it would have been just safer to go ahead and trade. But I think this is going to be okay. So this guy's still good for some value here, and I've got plenty of health. Okay, we'll just kill this thing. And, I don't know, it seems pretty reasonable just to maybe play a Sunwalker or a Boulder Festoger. Yeah, we'll just play this thing. Well, that might need to eat my ogre. Or be eaten by my ogre. That was one of the most unimpressive Holy Novas I've ever seen. So that ghoul's not going to grow enough to kill my Boulder Festoger, unfortunately, for my opponent. He could have actually run the Defender of Argus into my ogre, then the ghoul would have killed it. But it was it was not unreasonable for him to avoid that. Let's just go ahead and do this. Play a Northshire Cleric. Draw a card. And then I'll just play a Sunwalker to protect the Northshire Cleric. So we are wildly ahead on cards, life, and board. Probably played a little bit recklessly in this game. He had better cards, he might have been able to catch up there, like another Mind Control or something. I probably should have... Since I had the card advantage, would have been more precise of me to just play more for value than to just race like that. You should really race when you're behind. When you're ahead, you should just take it easy. But anyway, luckily I didn't pay for my mistake in that game, and Go-To-Mar, the priest, ends up losing the game. So that's nice when you win a mirror matchup. I think my opponent either had a less lucky draft, or he didn't draft as well as I did, though, because I just felt like I was playing better cards the entire game. I mean, he did have, like, a Defender of Argus, and he had a Mind Control. But, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of my mid-game... Like, pretty much all my mid-game cards, other than that 2/7 Stupid Beast. Technically, the Oasis Snapdraw, but I just call him the Stupid Beast, because he's, like, stupid. Your opponent can just always ignore him. That's probably, like, the worst card in the deck, I think. And everything else is just really, really quality. Okay, this is a nice start. I think it's important to keep all this stuff, not only because it's low cost, but because with Northshire Clerics, especially when you're the first player, J666, there's a very real threat that your opponent will just coin out a 3/2, and then your Northshire Cleric will die and you'll feel stupid, so having some protection for it is, of course, important. As it happens here, I have plenty of protection. I can use the Bluegill Warrior to kill a 3/2. The Northshire Cleric is very annoying for Paladins, because as long as it's on the field and he doesn't have a taunt, it stops him from making recruits. I'm just going to go ahead and play this Bluegill Warrior. If I were up against a motherfucking mage, I wouldn't play it, of course, it would just die. But here it seems reasonable just to put it down. I mean, if he's going to play a creature that this trades for, well, then it'll just trade for it. But otherwise, it's not likely to die to Paladin removal. Sword of Justice. Ah, well, speak of the devil. So now he does get to kill... Oh my god, he didn't kill my Bluegill Warrior. Well, I think this was a mistake. I think this might be a newer player. So, in this situation, you definitely want to use a tick of the weapon to kill the Bluegill Warrior. A single durability is totally worth it to get a creature off the board. So now he's taking 2 damage anyway. And I've got this thing on the field that's, you know, going to potentially trade against stuff. Now, maybe he was banking on this dying to a consecration later? Hard to say. That's a really good play right there, actually. So it's a 3/3. Because this thing got peace capped, even the Shattered Sun Cleric I just drew is not going to help me. And I can't damage anything and then heal it, because this thing will kill anything in one blow. Well, in one fell swoop, he really turned things around. I could do like a tech play. I could like attack him and then heal it and draw a card. That really doesn't seem very effectual. Okay, I think it's one of those times when you can't make a good play, so you have to make the least bad play. What I'm just going to do is throw away my peace-kept bear and just 2 for 1 here. It's a bit of a sad thing to 2 for 1 like that, but it would have been even worse if he had killed my Bluegill Warrior the previous turn. Then I wouldn't have any way of dealing with this Peacekeeper. Now at least I can play the Silverhand Knight next turn, and that should be pretty good. Guess another one of those things. Oh my god. That is obnoxious. Jeez, that's really obnoxious. Well, now I can't kill it at all unless I throw everything into it. Well, that means my Northshire, he won the fight against my Northshire Cleric. He's gonna get to kill it. And, well, she's just gonna get to kill it. That sucks. This guy is relegated to minion sweeping duty. Actually, he can't even sweep minions because they're all getting buffed by the Sword of Justice. Oh, this is terrible. Fairy Dragon. Okay. This sucks balls. Man, that is like the best Sword of Justice I have ever seen in my life. I had a really aggressive start. I had plays on every turn. It's just with those Peacekeepers, I wasn't able to trade effectively. Okay, we need to go for maximum value here. That means... Oh man, there's just no good way to do it because of this fucking humility effect. Oh my god. Well, let's play an ogre. And you know what? I think I need to do this.
If you insist.
I don't want him running into my ogre, and then it plus either of the other two would have killed it. Now he has to trade off his good creatures to kill my ogre. And what I'm going to do here is actually put 4 damage on him. I think it's worth it to do this. I really do. I know the motto is don't let paladins keep creatures, but I'm behind right now. It's important to note. I'm very far behind here, and so it's really important that I try to put some life pressure on him and force him to have to start using, you know, trades rather than going for my face. That's really the only advantage I have here is the fact that he's so far low on life. He's ahead on cards, ahead on life, he's got that thing, and it's got 7 health. Oh my god. Ah, damn it. That is so irritating. He's smartly using the targetable creature to kill my 4/4, and he's leaving his untargetable creature behind.
Do you need a
He's got a
blessing?
young priestess here. I really hope it targets the Fen Creeper because I'm going to Holy Smite it anyway. Alright, perfect. Alright, well, yep, let's do this. Finish it off with a Holy Smite. And I think, as tempting as it is to play the Northshire Cleric here and get a card, it's just going to die. I think much more sensible for me is just to... Oh, man, if I heal this up, though, I can't play the Gorobashi. Ah, but this guy will actually kill out of the other 2 things. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and... well, then if I do that, I might as well play the Northshire Cleric. Alright, well, talk myself back into that one. Let's go ahead and heal that up, draw a card, and play the Bloodsail Raider. It's kind of good in this circumstance where it sort of trades with his creatures here. He wants to use the Fairy Dragon to kill my Northshire Cleric, but that does leave the Ogre around. If he has another humility effect, I swear to God. I swear to God! Oh my god. Well, I passed on all the silences in this draft. I've been saying silence is overrated, but against a paladin who humiliates you 3 times, you do kind of wish you had some silence in your deck to try to get around that. God damn it. This is the game of the endless humility. He might catch up and win. I mean, I have no power here. He's ahead on cards. He's getting even further card advantage thanks to this True Silver Champion. Man. He probably doesn't want to do this trade. He probably wants to hit me in the face, because then the Young Priestess will buff this up to the point where the Bloodsail Raider won't be able to kill it for Crocolisk. Okay. Well, I don't know really what that's all about, but I'll take it. Okay. Well, let's just do this. And let's do this. And let's think. I really do want to put the Temple Enforcer on the Light Spawn. So what we're going to do this turn then is play a Gorobashi and heal this up. So healing that up, of course, doesn't save it from the weapon, but it does save it from this Crocolisk. So in 2 turns, I'll be able to play Lightspawn and Temple Enforcer. I may not have the luxury of doing this. I may have to blow the Temple Enforcer early on the Gorobashi Berserker. And the nice thing about the Gorobashi Berserker is it's immune to humility because it can keep whacking things and keep getting buffed. So that's a nice thing to know. Man, those double Peacekeepers. Peacekeepers are rare too, so it's about as good as you can hope for when you're a Paladin, is getting lots of humility effects. Alright, he's going to get a Gorobashi Berserker. And I guess use that to kill my Raider? Or is he going to try to kill my Gorobashi Berserker now? Ah, he is. He's going to use the weapon and the True Silver Champion. Well, that's smart. So now he has his own Gorobashi Berserker that I can't exactly deal with. Smart move. Hitting this would have been dumb. I could have just then finished it off. Oh, man. Holy Fire. Okay, I might need to kill this thing. Yep, I think I'm going to need to kill that thing while I have the chance. So we're going to do this. Holy Fire. I cannot play my stuff, but I'm going to heal this up. Stop it from dying to this. Well, I managed to come out even. We both have 3 cards. He's a 2/4 to my 2/3. His hero ability is better than mine. Putting a 1/1 is better than heal 2. However, if this turn of his is unimpressive, oh, he gets another card advantage. Damn it. Well, I'm gonna get to put a 7 or an 8/8 on the board and a 6/6 in 1 turn. So that's pretty good. He's got massive card advantage. It's kind of ridiculous. how massive it is. But I get to put, again, an 8/8 and a 6/6. So that's, I don't know, it's pretty strong, if you ask me. I mean, what you got, buddy? He needs a silence now. These guys are immune to frickin' humility, so he's not going to be able to do that. He can, of course, trade everything he has, or like one of these plus a blessing, or Azure Drake plus a blessing of kings would also do it. So in his turn, he drew a lot of cards. On my turn, I put a lot of huge stuff down. I see. He got us a 6/6. Well, it's going to be a tricky game here. He's a bit out of steam. He can still make a recruit. Is he going to really 2-for-1 into my Temple Enforcer? Looks like he is. It's a reasonable move, so I guess the idea is that my 8/8 can kill this, but it goes down to 1 health. I can heal it up to 3 health, but then it'll be finished off. Okay, very smart on his part. Well, luckily I drew that thing. Haha. Okay, here's what I'm going to do then. I'm just going to kill off his recruit. Doesn't mean the Scarlet Crusader gets to pop Divine Shield and kill that, so what I'm going to do is go for a bit of a value play here. Let's actually, wait a minute! I can actually heal this, kill that. This will be a 1/1. These two will kill off the Scarlet Crusader, and I can play my own 5/5. I think that's actually better. Yeah, let's just do this. Do that. And then I want to make sure I play this first. Order matters a lot. Alright, I'm out of steam. That's all my cards. But the Loot Hoarder is good for another card here. It should, barring a taunt, be able to trade against the Scarlet Crusader, nullifying the Crusader's advantage. He has to rather unimpressively use the Crusader to kill the Light Spawn, otherwise the Light Spawn will just grow when I heal it up.
What you want?
And he has a taunt, which is very good, although the Loot Hoarder doesn't mind killing that. This is a pretty smart player. He is going for the right target. It would have been very tempting to just kill this Bloodsail Raider, but he's killing the Light Spawn, correctly acknowledging that it is the scary card. And he gets a little bit more card advantage by putting some Swarm on the board. Well, that's fine by me. So I could draw a very good card. Always draw cards first, though. Always draw cards first. Flesh-eating Ghoul. Well, I think this is more important to put down than the Ghoul is. So we'll just do this. At the moment, I'm going to go for value plays. I don't really care that much about race. Well, do I care about racing him down? I mean, I can hit him down to 6. He's got this to contend with. Maybe I should just race. Yeah, we'll race. I talked myself into it. And this is pretty serious here. It was important to hit him with this thing. That way the Ventricle Mercenary threatens the kill. So this needs to be another humility effect or a taunt. Or else he just loses the game right here. I think that was the right play to make other than just trying to value up and get card advantage. So what's this last card? That's what we need to know. He's going to pop Divine Shield with a little Piglet. He's going to run a bunch of stuff into my Taunters. Looks like a Blessing of Kings to, or Defender of Argus maybe. Darkscale Healer. He gets to live by a thread here. Okay, fair enough. Well, I cannot play them both. I can get him down to 1 health, and he does have enough damage then to finish this off. I can only unfortunately play one of these creatures. Man. Alright, we're going to make a bit of a conservative play then. I'm going to actually... This seems wrong, actually. I'm going to just kill the big creature that he has. Do this. And I'm going to heal this guy up. So, we're threatening the kill this way now, and he doesn't have enough power on the board to kill the Ventrico, so once again, he needs to, you know, come up with an answer. Got a Blessing of Kings or a Blessing of Might, perhaps? Blessing of Wisdom. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. So he's going to draw a card. It's very smart. Searching for outs. Is this going to be an answer to a situation? No. Okay. So he's still searching for outs here. Consecration will let him survive another turn. So would like an Avenging Wrath. I don't think he's going to kill me with that. Well played. So that's a good game. All right, a bit of a long game there, but we pull it out in the end against J666. And as long as we continue not seeing any mages, I think this is going to be a good run. Like I said, this is a very strong... I don't know if it's like a very strong deck. It's missing Holy Nova and some other key cards, but I mean, if you look at just the cards in here, there's really no bad cards. None of these cards are bad, except for, again, this stupid DI. Stupid beast. Everything else is just a quality card. So, and then there's a legendary. So, I mean, that's got some value in it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please support my channel by liking the video and or subscribing to the channel. I'm, of course, going to be back very soon with the rest of the games in this run. So I will look forward to seeing you then. Till then.